from, but I can set up a system where now the money has caught up with the technology. It's moving at the speed of light, and it's moving without third-party verification because we can rely on the technology associated with the network. It's a long-winded way of saying it, but that's going to work, and that will make it, no matter who's in the Congress, who's at the SEC, what the Chinese government is saying, it'll make it, and it's represented here. You can see the representation here.
Yeah, the American political debates and what's going to happen with regulation aren't even on the docket here. They don't talk about it. You don't hear about it. It's the only conversation in Nashville. Right? The only conversation when you go to a conference in the United States is who's going to win the election, when's Gary Gensler going to get fired, what's Elizabeth Warren's influence. You don't hear it here. And you know what? Last year, I never heard about SBF when I was in Singapore.
No kidding.
We talked about them all the time in the United States, but you never heard about FTX and SBF when you were over here.
No kidding. Well, we did a small 30-minute panel this morning. It was Richard Tang from Binance, Jeremy Allaire, myself, Michael Belshi from BitGo. And we were talking about
and regulation by enforcement. You're obviously an outspoken supporter of Harris. Within the echo chamber of our industry, I think there's a sentiment that her winning would be more of the same. But you're in the room having the conversation. So how do you view that?
Well, I don't see it that way. And so it wouldn't just be me. It's people like Ron Conway, who I think you know, one of the old school venture capitalists, angel venture capitalists. It would be a big investor, early investor in Coinbase. It would be the Coinbase guys, Paul, the general counsel at Coinbase, Mark Cuban, Mike Novogratz. We've all have sat with, on various occasions, 3 or 4 occasions, with White House staff, people at Treasury, elected officials, including Senator Gillibrand and Ro Khanna. And of course, I was on the Crypto for Harris Zoom call where Senator Schumer, the current Senate majority leader, said, we're going to get positive cryptocurrency regulation / legislation either by the end of this year, which I do think is unlikely, but certainly in the next congressional term. And so they swung very hard against the industry, and it was damaging, but it is very cynical what they did. Gensler, of course, taught blockchain courses at MIT, but he did that for political power, and he did that for political preservation reasons more than what was right for the U.S. and how can the U.S. maintain its mantle of financial services leadership. He really, he really practiced the art of cynicism in Washington. I got my 11-day PhD in Washington scumbaggery.
You might know something about cynicism in Washington.
I know how these guys operate.
It's interesting. I agree. They got egg on their face, swung completely in the other direction. And I think the people who were outwardly pro-crypto, even if they remained privately pro-crypto, were afraid to say it because of pushback from their party. Maybe the silver lining to Trump coming out pro-crypto for the industry, whether you agree with him or not or believe him, is that at least those people were able to come back out of the closet and start having conversations.
Hey, listen, no question. That are single issue voters, and half of them go to the polls, and they're in the right swing states, it could tip the election. And of course, this crypto lobbying group, I can't remember the name. They have this purple bus, red and blue make purple. They're driving around in the swing states trying to sign up single issue voters. That will help Trump. And so, I think it's a mistake that the Democrats haven't moved and haven't outwardly moved. But I think they will. And remember, she became the presumptive nominee last week of July. So imagine all the work that she's had to do. There's 48 days until the election. But July 21st, she's flipping pancakes for her nieces. She gets a call from Biden. I'm out, you're in. Now she's got to consolidate all those delegates. She's got to get herself to the convention, get the official nomination, and then prepare herself for a debate that's 12 days later.
Well, that's why I'm saying maybe we think we're a little more important than we are when she has to come up with immigration, abortion, economic.
Before the debate started, I said, Trump's going to have a hard time tonight. Governor Newsom looked over at me and said, why are you saying that? I said, he's landing in Philadelphia at 6:57 p.m. The start time for the debate is 9. Nobody, I don't care if you're the greatest rock star, the greatest entertainer, the greatest politician, nobody can pull that off. Nobody can get the psychological gears together. And, Jack Kennedy, 1960, got there the day before. Richard Nixon, the day before. I went through every debate from 1960 to try to catch the travel schedule of the candidate or the current president that was in an incumbency debating an opponent. Every single one of them got there the day before, not Donald Trump on the night of that debate.
Shouldn't his team know that? I mean, is that hubris on the behalf
well,
of
that
his
was
team,
Macho. That was Macho Man. He was probably playing the song to the YMCA, Macho Macho Man, as he was landing.
Village people.
Because he industry. And remember, the United States, we're here. This is an amazing city. There's amazing things going on in innovation in the space outside the United States. But let's face it, we need the United States if we want to take the entire industry to the next level.
What excites you the most that you're seeing here? We always have these cyclical narratives and things that are going to happen.
I'm talking to the Wolf of Wall Street. I mean,
like I said, we could have done this on Zoom from your car, famously.
Done that before. Sorry, man.
No, that's the best. Literally the best content I have is you in the car.
Because I can't get to the goddamn location because of New York traffic, I'll tell you what I'm excited about, okay? I just turned 60. And I'm in here with people that are my kids' ages, 28, 29, 30. And they come and see me and they talk to me about what they're doing. And it's dollar proliferating. So you got to get clarity on that regulation. The second thing is you need clarity on other tokenization. What is the real definition of a security versus what is a commodity? You can't have an Ethereum ETF and have Solana have the exact same properties, okay, in terms of decentralization, all of the same metrical analysis, call one a security and the other one a token. You can't do that and get the confidence of the industry. So we need clarity on that. And of course, we need a pro-business friendly environment in New York. And so that's got to also be done, not just at the Schumer level, that's got to be done at the state level and at the mayor's office.
And you're confident that we can do that regardless of which party's in power, who's in power?
I do.
Maybe a different time frame.
As I've said to Jeremy Allaire, remember, nobody, and I mean nobody wanted Uber. There was no years. Okay, she's weirdly a Joe McCarthy-like figure in terms of what she stands for, in terms of centralization and control, which are very anti-American concepts. But because of the way patronage works in our political elites, she could end up in an administrative position. Let me just make the sign of the cross on your show. Okay, I pray that does not happen, but that's the pessimistic version. But Scott,
but we want her to lose, but we need her to be gone.
Yeah, exactly. But don't let me end the show like that. We
could get the same from Gensler, right?
Right.
I mean, he's always wanted to be Secretary of Treasury.
Right.
What if we finally get Gensler? I think he's wildly unpopular and doesn't.
Yeah, no. He's very unpopular in Washington. The only person I think that thinks they have a good chance to be Secretary of Treasury, Gary Gensler does, get him into public service.
Absolutely. Well, I'm optimistic for the future. I, like you, think it's inevitable. I would just hope we don't get another SBF or something like that completely blows us up for another 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, but it feels like we've got that under control, and there's a lot less leverage in the system. And of course, these big institutions that are really good compliance protocols like Fidelity and BlackRock, I think are really helping. It's good leadership, providing good leadership.
We're going to have a conversation with this level of excitement in the United States in the next year or two at a conference.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great.